Today we'll be going over how to create a giant monster roar using this clip. The first thing I want to talk about is the ambience. I have two samples here, one a logic loop and one a forest sample. And they kind of hold down the bass of this whole entire sound. And I could have stopped there, but I felt like I wanted more. So what I ended up doing was I recorded my sync and I used the samples from a metal strainer draining out of it. And I'll show the clip right here. This is where you'll start hearing the strainer strain into my sync. And then so on and so forth. These are some of the other samples, but it's all the same. What I ended up doing here was I put these samples all on a bus and I took out a significant amount of the low frequencies because I wanted it to sound like this thing is giant. And if it was super bass heavy, I don't feel like it would feel that big, or we wouldn't feel so close to it. Next, I added some distortion. And then I added a stereo delay. This delay is just to give it a little extra feel so it sounds like it's way bigger than it really is. Down here, just a little bit of corrective EQing, nothing too exciting. And then here, I wanted to make it phase a little harder, so I did some EQ automation. So next, I have the pre-scream before the big scream, right? If you can see in the clip here, he goes up, and he lets out a little roar here first. This is a dinosaur growl. Nothing exciting. I think I pitched it up. I did pitch it up. Then I use one of my walrus samples. Give it a little bit extra juice. And then cow. I can't tell how much I love cows because I've just learned that when you slow a cow down, it sounds amazing. This is what a cow sounds like when it's been stretched and also transposed 21. Like, that's a cow. It's a cow mooing. And then together, I didn't do much to it. All I did was add reverb, so it just sounds like it's really huge. And I made it quieter because this next part I want to hit like crazy hard. So this is the scream. It's broken down into a couple parts, right? We've got the attack. I've got my low end, if you will. And then I've got my, I'd say 4K mid frequencies, and then here's my top end here. So let me talk about something. This is where I want to bring out a tip. Let me get my cow. That's the cow I use. So I'm going to drag this here to the bottom. And then all I do when I stretch samples in Logic, I hold Alt. I think it's Alt. I'm using a Windows keyboard on a Mac because I'm too cheap to get a Mac keyboard. So I use Alt, and then you get this like stretch kind of marquee tool. What we're going to do is we're going to just click and just drag this into next week. Usually drag it as far as it lets me. That already sounds amazing. And if I was to come over here and transpose this down, to me, that sounds like a building falling over or something. Something huge. We can even switch the flex mode to the tempo phone and raise the grain size up to 500 milliseconds. Let's listen to what that sounds like. That's the beauty of stretching samples and changing the pitch. So let's go back to the actual sound itself, and we will start with the top. The top, this is a logic loop. This is the lion attack layered with a walrus. That's perfect for those initial hits. And then underneath that, then we get to our low end. Here's that cow. Now, I played with this low end for quite some time. I ended up changing it to -21 because I felt like right there was the right spot. And that's what I really enjoyed. I tried a bunch of other sounds, and it just didn't feel right. This one kind of felt pretty in the proper spot. So let me show you here. Let me go to -18. I'm sure it works, but for some reason, this was the sweet spot. Combining that with your lovely gators. I got my gators here. These are just all different gators doing different growls before they kind of attack. And I just kind of faded them together. And combined with the cow and quite a bit of low end, some distortion, and just some corrective EQing, I got this kind of feel. So next, I want to talk about something that I did for the first time. Now, I don't know how to explain this other than in my car, I like practicing doing death metal screams and death metal growls. And so I wanted to add a little bit extra flavor, and I'll show you the clip of what it sounds like. And also show you the failed attempts. And then with pitching, distortion, and then just crazy different EQing, I ended up getting this. Layered with my low end and my gators. It just gave it a little extra of what I wanted. Then to add to the top end of it, because the sound sounded amazing, except for it just needed a little bit extra top end here, I added my favorite, which were elephants, and I did something different this time. Let me show you over here. So this is the elephant in itself, pitch down 3. And stretched to an inch of its life. I wanted it to feel like this monster was giving its all, and so what I ended up doing was I cut this in half here, and I raised this sample up just one semitone. That small pitch bend helps out a lot when it comes to these sounds. And then if we were to put it all together here, you just got a massive monster with a couple animals and a little bit of me. So that's how I would make a giant creature if I was given the task. Thanks for watching.